Chapter 5. Bitter root. Number 2.
Now, many persons are of the perception that when it comes to jealousy, it is normally pertaining to persons who are involved sexually, who does not want to see the person they're involved with get involved with someone else. Let me just simplify it. I ain't going to get technical with the thing. So that's normally the perception of jealousies. Persons who are involved, primarily sexually, don't want to know, say, the person I'm involved with is involved with someone else in that same way. So they become jealous. Jealousy, though, is more than that. Jealousy is more than just that perception. Jealousy is said to be thoughts which produces feelings of insecurity. Since a John was starting, someone like the person, it starts to develop a sensation, a feeling of insecurity, feeling less than. And this is a result of a state of mind of uncertainty, which triggers sensation of worry, vexation. Worry as in, I wonder if thing there. So outside of vexation, there is anger. So it opens the door to the energy or spirit of anger. The manifestation of that is vexation. Now, as a result of one thinking, they lack certain things based on this thinking. So their mindset is that they are being cheated or shortchanged when one displays the act of jealousy. Jealousy can consist of sensation or emotions, which is the same energy that goes in motion, the sensation, the stimulation we experience, we feel. Besides that of anger, and worry and vexation, there is also that of resentment, insufficiency, helplessness. Just can't do nothing about that, yeah, man. If them want this, them want that. Outside of that, there is disgust and annoyance. When jealousy enters, that bitter root enters, when that bitterness takes root, there is annoyance or resentment. Them the likes of that person. Oh, I like that girl, you know. I like that boy, you know. Oh, him, she. Bitterness. Me can't stand. When you start, once you find yourself starting to make those utterances, me can't stand. Be mindful. Jealousy is at work. Another word for jealousy is this, which we hear in scripture, which is also one of the 7 deadly or capital sins, or one of the chief office of the 7 principal demons, that of envy or covet, which we were instructed based on the commands not to do. Thou art not to covet. Don't covet their neighbor's things. Don't covet their neighbor's wife. Don't covet. And to covet is having strong desire for something which belongs to someone else. It is not wrong to have strong desires, but not for something that is of another person, that belongs to another person. Many persons for ages have demonstrated jealousy. Even toddlers as young as maybe 5 months old, it is said, has displayed jealousy. Case scenario, twins. And one twin is sucking on the mother's breast, and the other child, they may be both sucking on the mother's breast, but one is pushing off the other one. Yeah. Feel that child is getting more attention. Jealousy is a bitter root which can lead to death. Now, such was the case with these 2 brothers. Which 2 brothers am I talking about? You go to Genesis 4 verse 3 to 8, you'll find out which 2 brothers I'm making mention of. The scripture states, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the garden an offering unto the Master Supreme. And Abel also brought of the firstling or the first of his flock, and the supreme master had admiration for Abel based on the offering that he presented. Cain became vexed. He pulled a cross, angry, miserable vibe. He was vexed. His countenance fell. The master asked Cain, "Why are you upset? And what is the reason for your facial expression? Why you have the look upon your face?" The master in turn said to Cain, "If you had done well with what you presented, would it not have been accepted?" This is a question asked. "And if you did not take the time to present a suitable offering, but want to be rewarded, such evil thoughts would not come into your mind if you did the correct thing." Now Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field, Cain rose up and killed his brother. He slew him. Now there is more to this Cain and Abel's story, but I will not get into it right now. See, I've made known in previous sharing regarding unforgiveness that the refusal to ask and instead make assumption tends to contribute to resentment, which is the seed to the bitter root of unforgiveness. Cain's refusal to ask the master why his offering was rejected caused him to entertain resentment, which led to jealousy, which led to anger, which became rage, which ended up in the physical expression of anger, which the outcome was that of death of another. If he had asked, he would have realized that, listen, the offering you presented was not as suitable as that of Abel because you just carry me something. It could have been a case where Cain just pick up some fruit or drop on the ground and say, "I'll offer this as an offering. I'll present this as an offering." When Abel took the first lamb, the firstborn, and presented it up. Now, a second case of jealousy being a bitter root was in the case of a father-in-law wanting to kill his son-in-law. This we find in 1 Samuel 18:5-19, when it makes known that David went wherever Saul sent him and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war and put him in charge of his soldiers. He became the commander, and he was accepted in the sight of all people and also in the sight of Saul's servant. Everyone liked David. Now it came to pass when David returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, when him chop off Goliath's head, kill Goliath, the women came out in the city and they were singing and dancing. They came out to meet King Saul with tambourines and musical instrument. And here what happened now. The women started to play and they started to sing, and they were saying, "Saul had slain his 1,000, but David slayed 10,000. Yes, so they were just singing that, singing David's praise. Now Saul became angry. The fact that they were given the praise he think he deserved to David. He was so displeased to the point that he was saying to himself, if the people are praising him, the only thing left for him to do is take my kingdom. Saul eyed David, so he started to give him an evil eye. The root word for eye is said to be avon, which is said to mean jealousy. So he became jealous of David. Now it came to pass the next day that the evil spirit from the Most High came upon Saul. David played the harp, and the spirit left him, there was a javelin that was close to Saul, which he had the intent to use to spear David. Now, let me just paraphrase all of this. So, Saul said to David that, listen, if you continue to be valiant, if you continue to be the man that you are, leading my army, killing the Philistines, you'll be good with me. To the point where he gave his daughter to David. This is how David became his son-in-law. By he given one of his daughter to David. The first one he attempted to, but she was already to be wedded to someone else. Then then the second daughter, who was really into David, he found out that that was the case, and he gave that daughter to David. Now, the intent behind Saul saying, David, I desire for you to remain to be commander of my army, is his intent that the Philistines would kill David on the battlefield. Because he realized that the Most High favored David because of how David conducted himself. So, even after all that, David became son-in-law. He still wanted to kill David. In 1 Samuel 19, 1-2, it states that Jonathan, the son of Saul, came to David and made David know that, listen, my father intends to kill you, so flee. What people are not realizing is that when there's favor upon someone, there's nothing you can do about it. Now, a person who tends to cultivate the bitter root of jealousy is one who entertains or allows selfish thoughts to enter in their minds, and as of such develop a selfish mindset. So the mind is set in that way, from which the seed of jealousy shoots. This is displayed by thoughts which becomes vocal, sometimes unaware. Persons are unaware of the thoughts becoming vocal. These bitter thoughts becoming vocal. Some of the utterance that will come from such a person who has entertained the bitter root of jealousy is, 1, why can't I have that which that person have? 2, I should be the one who have that. 3, that person does not deserve what they have. They're making a mock of it. Them wasting what them have. I would have made better use of it. I have listed 3, only 3, but I'm sure there's many more, maybe others that you can make reference to. Now, the root of jealousy is also from the seed of resentment, which shoots up as a result of being afraid to ask. Instead, people create assumption. I said it earlier. I'm reiterating. I'm emphasizing this point. The refusal to ask results in these things. This was the case with Cain and Abel. As I stated, Cain refused to ask. He just acted. It was the same in the case of Saul with David, because he thought he would have lost his throne to David. And if he had asked the master, he would have realized he was in no danger, because the master had appointed him to be king. Persons may have cultivated a bitter root of jealousy for you in their hearts, or you may have been the one who have cultivated such. You may be the one carrying around this bitter root of jealousy, not even realizing that you have jealousy in your heart. Remember, the heart is the mind. As one thinks in the heart, so they become. Proverbs 23:7. Meditate upon that. Your mind is your heart. So you may be the one carrying around the resentment. Do know this though, the bitter root of jealousy, just like every other bitter root, what thorns and weeds tends to do is choke the life out of living things. Hence, you may find yourself gloomy, unhappy, depressed, barely going through life as though you're just merely existing, you're not living, because the bitter root of jealousy is choking the life out of you. If you have the bitter root of jealousy in your heart towards someone who is favored by the Most High, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time because this person is going to excel. Now, if you are one who is like David, or who strives to be like David, who seeks after the Master's heart, you need not to fret yourself about evildoers. Psalms 37 makes this clear that this is one of the key ways to obtain the desires of your heart. Fret not of evildoers. Be not envious of them. So if you're seeking after the heart of the Most High, no harm will come to you, because you'll be like the apple of the Most High's eyes. I'm pretty sure you may have heard before that David was said to be a man after God's own heart. But do you know what that actually means? To be one after the Most High's heart. I'm going to explain in detail what that statement actually means this day. You may want to make a note of it. This day you will comprehend what the scripture passage, Psalms 142, verse 11 and 12, actually is making known. Why it is stated that David was a man after the Most High's own heart. So the scripture states, and this is said to be David's ultimate prayer, which states, "Teach me your way, O Lord, that I may walk in your truth. Give me an undivided heart to reverence your name. I give thanks to you, O Lord, my God. With my whole heart, I will glorify your name forever." What David is requesting in this prayer is as follows, based on the unfolding of certain words. So it would state this way: teach me your ways, and using the root meaning for the words and breaking down words to give more clarity. So teach me your ways, O Master. Instruct me. This is what it means when David is saying to teach me. What it means to teach. Teach me is to instruct me, to inform me. Let me obtain your knowledge. This is what David is saying right there when he says, teach me your way. David makes known the reason for such a request, why he has such a desire. Many a times persons have desire, but they don't have no particular reason in the sense of how will this benefit the Most High. They want it for their own self. And that's why it states, when you ask, you receive not. And when you receive not, because when you ask for your own pleasures. So that's one of the reasons persons do not receive what they pray for. Now, David is going to give clear indication why he has these desires. His reason for desiring the knowledge of the great I am is so that he may walk in his truth, which is to be occupied, taken up, or consumed by the faithfulness or promises of the great I am. David's request continues with him stating, give me an undivided heart. This is to give me a mind which is not separated, or give me a mind which is fixed on you. Why is it David desires such a mind? Goes on to make known, to reverence the name of the Most High, which is what? To regard, to respect, or honor thy image or character. And then he goes on to state, I give you thanks, O Master, my supreme being, with my whole heart, which is mind. I will glorify, which is promote your name, which is character or image or personality forever. The decode version of that prayer, the ultimate prayer of David, Psalms 142, 11 and 12, would be like this after it's decoded. It goes like this. Instruct me, inform me, let me obtain your knowledge, O Master, so that I may be occupied, taken up, or consumed by your faithful promises. Give me a mind which is not separated from you. Give me a mind which is fixed on you, so I may regard, respect, honor your image, your character, your personality. I give thanks to you, O Master, my supreme being. With my whole mind, I will promote, endorse, unfold your character forever. What David actually desires is to have a mind or knowledge of the Most High, so as to be able to be as the Master Creator made us to be, which is like thyself, holy, which is a command given unto us, as is made known in Leviticus 11. David desires what the Most High desires for all of us, who was created by thy hands and breath, which is thy spirit. What the Most High desire for us to have is thy image, thy character, thy personality. So, if you have the name of the Most High, which is the character or personality of the Most High, there will be no bitter root in you. And if you are striving daily to resume your true nature, which is becoming once again like the Father, our source, that's what Father means, such roots will quickly wither and die. For unholy things cannot flourish in holy environment. If there is the bitter root in you of jealousy, to get rid of the bitter root or kill the bitter root of jealousy, what one needs to do is to become as the Father desires for us to be, which is holy. And to become holy is to rid oneself of unholy things. Changing your mindset is the beginning of such a thing.
If you were inspired, enlightened, and or moved by the knowledge shared, please do see about giving a donation of any amount by means of PayPal, remittance, or online bank transfer. Kindly call or WhatsApp 876-450-6633 or 345-925-2781 for information to facilitate your donation, or send an email to hisenlightenment@gmail.com. Also, feel free to send questions or requests by such medium. Please do follow us on our social platforms at His Enlightenment or at YAHsir Yosef on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. May the Most High's mercy continue to be with you